John Johnson lost his hearing while working in the military in the 70s. He says he remembers some of the difficulties he faced before the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Basically, they just look at you and say, well, if you can't do your job, you're fired. So it's made a huge difference, especially for the deaf community and the hard of hearing community, because that's an invisible disability. People don't see it, so they just actually out of sight, out of mind type thing.
ADA coordinator for Doña Ana County, Meg Haynes, says the passing of this law gave anyone living with a disability the right to be treated equally.
It gives people with disabilities civil rights, just like Title VII gives people of race, color, national origin, sex, religion, all that. It gives civil rights to people with disabilities. And so in employment practices, also in services provided to them.
John Johnson said the ADA helped him greatly in business because employers had to provide accommodations. He now works with the Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing and says many times people don't know what they're entitled to.
There's a huge ignorance there, especially for the younger generations. Stop and think about it. You got a 16-year-old kid who's hard of hearing or deaf. They go to work at McDonald's or Burger King or some restaurant, and they're clueless about the rights under the ADA.
Martha Trujillo works for the Office of Student Accessibility Services at Doña Ana Community College. She says many times students with disabilities aren't aware of the accommodations they are able to supply.
A lot of the times, people with disabilities believe that they cannot overcome the challenges that they're facing for their disability. But when they come over to our office, we visit with them, we look at their diagnosis. You know, they have been diagnosed by professional individuals. We offset the effects of those disabilities with learning accommodations that puts them at the same level as anyone else.
Meg Haynes says that community fairs like the ADA celebration help to solve these problems by helping people living with disabilities learn exactly what rights and services are available to them.
With having these events, people really get the information that they need. A lot of times people with disabilities do not know what's available to them, so this type of event really gives that information out to people.
This was the 4th annual ADA celebration, and Haynes says it grows every year. For KRWG, I'm Samantha Sonner.